Hi, welcome to my channel Diced and Spiced. Does your samosa crust feel leather-like or probably covered with blisters and look unappealing? Do you want to make a perfect samosa? Okay, let's dive into the video. Before going into the video, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please consider doing so. Let's first make the dough for the samosa. I have taken 2 cups of all-purpose flour, salt as required, 3/4 teaspoon of ajwain or omam. Let's mix up all the dry ingredients together. I have here a mixture of 3 tablespoons of ghee and 3 tablespoons of oil heated. Let's add this to the flour. Mix it well so that the oil mixture is rubbed well into the flour. This step is important for the crust to be very crispy. The flavor of the ghee should be felt in the crust. It should have a melt in the mouth buttery feel. Kneading the dough with sufficient oil and ghee mixture ensures the crispness. The oil mixture is incorporated well into the flour. Let's start kneading the dough by adding water little by little. Kneading the dough to the right consistency is important. The dough should be smooth but tight. The dough's consistency makes the crust not feel like leather where it gets easily peeled off from the samosa. Adding less water helps in getting a tight dough. More water will make the samosa absorb excess oil while deep frying. Finally, let's add 1 more teaspoon of oil or ghee that the dough is coated well on all sides. Let's remove the dough and transfer it to a vessel. Cover the dough and allow it to rest for at least 30 minutes. Resting the dough is important to make the dough pliable. Meanwhile, let's start working on the filling. First, let's prepare a spice powder. I have here 1 teaspoon of jeera, 1.5 tablespoons of dhania or coriander seeds, and 1 tablespoon of saunf. Grind all these ingredients into a dry powder. Here is the ground mixture. This will be the main spice powder for our filling. In a heated pan, add 1 tablespoon of ghee, 1.5 tablespoons of oil. I'm initially adding 1 teaspoon of the prepared spice powder. Saute it for around 15 to 20 seconds. Do not allow it to burn. I have here 1.5 onions finely chopped. Saute it. Add a few pinches of asafoetida, a teaspoon of ginger garlic paste. Saute them till the raw smell goes away. I have here 3 finely chopped green chilies. Let's add them. Saute again. The onion should turn light pink. Now let's add the masalas. 1.5 teaspoons of Kashmiri red chili powder, half a teaspoon of regular red chili powder, 1.5 teaspoons of dhania powder. Saute them well till the raw smell of the spices go away. I have here 6 potatoes boiled and mashed into small bits. Let's add them. Add the required salt. Saute well. The masalas should evenly coat the potatoes. Smash the potatoes further. Now again add 1.5 teaspoons of the prepared spice powder. Saute it again. The raw smell of the spices should go away. I have here half a cup of boiled fresh green peas. Let's add it. Half a teaspoon of black salt. Half a teaspoon of amchur or dry mango powder. 1 tablespoon of anardhana powder. Saute again. The masalas should be evenly distributed throughout the filling. The filling is ready. Let's garnish it with some coriander leaves. Make sure that the samosa filling is as dry as possible to avoid soggy samosas. It's been around 30 to 40 minutes since the dough has been resting. Let's knead it once again and make it smooth. Pinch off a lemon-sized piece of the dough. Shape it into a ball and roll it with a rolling pin into a thin disc. Dust it with some all-purpose flour as you roll it. This should be the thickness of the disc. Use a knife or a pizza cutter to cut it into 2 semicircles. Let's keep one aside. With 1 semicircle, let's start preparing the cone for the samosa. Keep a cup of water handy to stick the dough. Pick up one side of the dough, turn it over in your hands, apply some water. It will soon feel sticky. Now bring the other end together and stick them. Make sure you press them enough so that the pieces of dough are stuck together. We can see that the tip still has an opening. Apply some more water and stick it together. Let's observe the cone from the inside. We can see it is completely sealed and there are no openings. Let's now take around 1.5 teaspoons of the filling and stuff it into the samosa cone. Make sure you press down the filling so that it fills the entire samosa. We can see that there is still more gap for more filling, but do not overfill it. If you overfill, there is a chance of the samosas rupturing in the oil. That spoils both the samosa's look as well as the oil. Let's take a little more water. Coat the inner surface of the cone. Bring both the ends together and stick them well. Let's crimp the edges with a fork. This is optional. Observe the samosa from all the sides. We can see it is completely intact and there are no openings, and there is no chance of the filling to leak out. Press down on the bottom part of the samosas and allow them to sit for at least 20 to 25 minutes. Resting the prepared samosas is the most important step while making them. As we are using water to stick the dough and shape the samosas, there is moisture on the dough. 20 to 25 minutes of resting ensures that this water dries out. If we fry without resting, the samosas will form blisters on the surface and will have an unpleasant appearance. Let's observe the first one that I made. We can see that it is completely dry on top and has no moisture now. It's ready to be fried. Today we are going to be frying the samosas in 3 different ways. One is the traditional deep fry in oil, the other is a baking in an oven, and the third is baking in a cooker. I have here an oven-safe container lined with a parchment paper, and I have placed 2 samosas. Smear the samosas with oil. We'll be using around 1 teaspoon of oil for each samosa. Make sure that the samosa is coated with the oil on all sides. Bake this for at least 20 minutes until golden brown at 375° Fahrenheit. Similarly, I have a small stainless steel plate covered with parchment paper. Make sure that the samosa is coated with the oil on all sides. I'm going to be baking this samosa in a cooker preheated with 2 to 3 cups of rock salt for around 20 minutes. Please be cautious, it's extremely hot. Make sure you cover the cooker with a plate or a lid with no gasket. Now let's see how to fry the samosas in the traditional deep fry method. I have here sufficient oil to cover the samosa fully, that's important. If using less oil, it's better to make smaller samosas. The oil should not be very hot. While testing with a piece of dough, make sure of the following. The dough should not rise to the top immediately. If it does, lower the flame well, wait for another 10 minutes or so and try again. The dough should remain at the bottom and start to form small bubbles. This is the correct heat for frying the samosas. Let's add the samosas one by one. Do not move them around too much. It will slowly start to form bubbles. Occasionally turn them around. A batch of samosas takes about 15 minutes to get golden brown, so be patient while frying. Our samosas are perfectly golden brown and ready. Let's take them out. Note how it is evenly cooked, crisp, and has a smooth outer surface. Doesn't it look really tempting? They are a treat for your eyes as well as your stomach. After you finish frying a batch, it is good to test the heat again to be sure it is perfect. Let's now check on the baked ones. The samosa baked in the cooker is ready. Note that it is dry throughout and cooked well. This samosa took around 25 minutes to be baked. The samosas from the oven are also ready. They took around 20 minutes. They are also evenly cooked and crisp. Now this is a samosa I made to show how the heat plays a vital role. Observe the blistered crust. It looks uneven and unappetizing. So keep an eye on the oil. Now to answer the question, do they all feel the same while tasting? Definitely not. The deep fried ones are crisp but have a melt in the mouth and butter-like feel. The ghee in the crust adds a rich and a yummy taste. The baked ones, though crisp, feel a little harder. Taste-wise, there is absolutely no difference. Baking is definitely a healthy alternative. Make and enjoy these samosas hot with green and sweet chutneys. They will be surely a hit in your family. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, and for more such content, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you.